What's going on, guys? This is Bumstar, and today we're playing all the mods 10 to the sky. Last episode, we got our Geores going, as well as our furnace and our squeezer to get ore automation. In between episodes here, I have created a farm because, well, I was running out of food and I needed something, so just a very, very basic farm. I only made the iron Geore because I realized it's kind of pointless for us to start pumping them out when we don't have any growth accelerators or ways to auto farm them. And then I also upgraded our sieves all the way to diamond tier meshes, so that way we can start getting more and more resources. Just a lot of sieving in between episodes, tons of gravel, tons of sand, tons of dust. And then I also set this up. This gives me all of these resources with the stone generators, all very simple, where it's lava one side, water on the other, and then the specific stone underneath that's needed, and put a copper tier upgrade into all of these so that way we can get them going. The only thing I noticed is my stone one seems to be bugging out a little bit, creating stone, but just very slowly because I believe it's consuming the water every time. I also made it so our cobblestone gets automatically pumped over here into 4 porcelain crucibles, and then those get pumped into this tank, so now we have lava on tap for whenever we need it, and these will automatically be filled as we use it. And I'm just using the mechanism tanks because they're super simple to make. I also have done the same thing over here. I put a cobblestone generator here, didn't put any upgrades in here because this is just here to fill this up, and then I have it going to another tank, so we have a backflow, and right into our foundry here. So that way we always have lava. Obviously something fell in here. So for today's episode, I would like to clean up this storage, which I think we're going to do with a basic functional storage setup. And then after that, I want to get our growth accelerators going. And we need to make some witch water so we can start getting some better stuff from receiving with Endstone and Netherrack, blackstone, soul sand, all of those different materials, so that way we can start getting some quartz, gas tiers, and things of that nature. But first things first, let's get our functional storage going. So we are going to need a storage controller. Actually, we can't even do this yet because we need that quartz. Quartz is one thing that is really holding us back right now. And in order to get quartz, we are going to need to sieve soul sand or netherrack. And to make soul sand or netherrack, we are going to need witch water and witch water. And to get witch water, we need to put water in a barrel on top of mycelium, and mycelium will speed up that process. And then witch water and lava can make a bunch of different things. We're going to need dirt, which means that our area is going to get a little uglier than what it currently is. So now we have a floating camper van, but hopefully this is enough. And we got 2 mycelium. That's all we need right now. Set up a patch back here on a little 5x5, and let's see, is this going to spread? That I'm unsure of, but I guess we will find out. So now we need a barrel. And I can't remember if I can fill this up or not. So that's slowly going to turn over to witch water, and it looks like it is spreading. Just slowly. Looks like this does turn a lot quicker with more mycelium around it, so that's good. So plenty of witch water here. Now let's go ahead and grab some iron and redstone and make another tank. And I want to grab my fluid pipes and my pipe wrench. So my thought is I have a kitchen sink which has infinite water. Can I use that to pump water into these? So if I put a kitchen sink right here and if I hit that automatically fills up. So I think if I do rows here, let those fill up, slowly start progressing. So now those will all be filled up automatically. So then I just need to figure out a way to extract this all into this tank. So in order to do this, I'm going to need a filter. Actually, since this already has a witch water in it, that should only take witch water out and act as our filter. We now have a witch water completely automated. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it gets the job done. And I can always pretty it up later with some outlines and maybe make a little hut for it. Because I think ultimately we are going to get rid of our camper van. But now that we have witch water, we can use this witch water to create endstone and netherrack. We unfortunately cannot put them next to this because this doesn't require water. So we're going to put our endstone and our netherrack back here. Let's go get 2 buckets of lava. Let's get 2 buckets of witch water, if I can. And let's grab ourselves some cobblestone for now. And we're going to put our lava back here, our witch water right here. And now we have endstone and netherrack. Oh, I want to see if flowing lava works. I believe it will, which means I'm going to need to break these. That seems to work. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's good enough for what we need it for, and we let it sit over time, and that will build up rather quickly. And now that we have witch water, we can get some sand and make some soul sand. Soul sand is nice because it also drops gas tears when you sieve it. I want to set up another barrel that's just always going to have witch water in it. Put a barrel right here and set that to pool. So this barrel will always have witch water in it. So we can just come over here and get our soul sand. All right, and now that we have soul sand, we can sieve this. And we are getting our quartz, as well as some gas tiers and prosperity shards. And with prosperity shards, that means we are going to be able to start getting into mystical agriculture, which I think is going to be our easiest option for dirt as well as logs. Because, well, planting a tree and spam crouching the torque on it and cutting it down is starting to get old. And I'm trying to keep myself decently stocked because we use so much wood. So being able to set those up will be really nice to get some dirt and some logs going so we don't have to worry about it in the future. But for now, we have some nether quartz. And with those nether quartz, the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to get our storage controller. So we need 2 blocks of nether quartz. Then we need 2 drawers. Going to need to grab some sticks, some stone, and some redstone to make our capacitor. And now we have our storage controller. And this block is going to allow us to link all of our drawers together. So when we click on it, it's going to automatically sort everything to where it needs to be without us having to worry about pushing it through. And with that, we are going to create a wall of 2x2 oak drawers. But this will allow us to have 4 different items in a single drawer, and just kind of create a giant area for us to store all of that. Functional storage is definitely one of my favorite storage mods, especially when you combine it with something like applied energistics. It makes organizing your inventory extremely easy. But before we get fully into that, I would like to do a couple stacks of netherite and endstone, crush them down, and sieve them to see what we get. All right, so from our endstone, we have gotten Eyes of Ender, Ender Pearls, Dracorum Dust, which I have no idea what that's used for, some Chorus Fruit, and some Chorus Flowers. Now let's check out our crushed netherrack. We got a ton of Blackstone Pebbles, bunch of Magma Cream, Blaze Powder, a lot more nether quartz than we got from the previous one, and it looks like some gunpowder as well. These 2 items are going to be really nice to get these materials that we're going to need to progress further into this mod pack. So for now, we are going to dump it all in this one because we're not going to have to worry about these chests for much longer. All right, so now we have 32 oak drawers, and we need to figure out where we want to put this storage. As annoying as this is, I think I want to put it right where this camper van is, so it's close enough to everything else, which means I'm gonna need to tear this apart. And the camper van is no more, which means the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this entire area in with cobblestone, and we will adjust how it looks later on. For now, I just need a flat area. Put our storage controller there and just start putting barrels all around it. And now what we need is the functional configure and a locking card. So we're going to need a drawer, another drawer. We don't have any paper right now, but what we do have is some sugar cane, some sand, and let's see, is Snad still in here? Snad is still in here. Perfect. Now we have 32 Snad, and I think what we're going to do then is we're going to dig this up. And now we have our sugarcane farm, and as you can see with Snad, it grows super quick. With that, we now have paper. Now we need to grab some emeralds, some diamonds, a drawer, and some gold. One linking tool, and one configure tool. So now that we have a linking tool, we right-click on the storage controller, and then this shows you the range at which this reaches. So obviously these are not connected. These are. So what we're going to need to do then is we're going to need to put a copper upgrade, which we'll just take that one for now since that's just slowly filling up anyway. Shift right click on that with an empty hand, throw that in there, and that gives us a range increase. So now when we pull out our linking tool, we can see that these are all now within range. Say for example, we link the stone. If I take a stack of this out, I can come over here and I can right click to put it back in here. Or if I come over here, you can see at the top there, it says that we have 8,000 stone, and I can right click that item and it sends it right into there. And then the configuration tool makes it so you can lock the drawers. So the only thing that can go in that drawer is going to be this item. So even if this hit 0, it would still only allow stone in there, which means that when we put new items, they're not just going to auto-populate. We have to manually put them in where we want them. So now everything is linked to the controller. Now if we take our configuration tool and we shift right click, it now auto locks every drawer that's connected. And then I believe if we shift right click again, it'll unlock them all. But the main thing is just locking every drawer. And then as we add drawers in the future, we can just lock them individually. Now, the one thing we want to keep in mind is these drawers only hold 512 of a specific item. So if I put this right here, you can see there it says 512 at the top, 64 out of 512. Now that I have that in there, I have the other 3 stacks here. I can just right click there. And it's going to auto-populate those into that. We are going to need to make copper upgrades and diamond or gold and diamond upgrades eventually for all of these drawers so we can increase the amount of items that go inside. But for now, our main goal is to go through all of these chests to sort them into our drawers here. All right, so now I have everything from these chests except for some small things still. And then all of this stuff, I also need to make more compacting drawers for these. But we have Skystone's full already, Flint's full already, so we're going to need to upgrade the size for those. But I have these compacting drawers down here. Since these need to be compacted anyway for us to smelt them down, you can put them right here and it'll compact it. As we get more, they'll automatically go in here. And then we can just pull them out there and squeeze them and set them up for ore processing. We'll fill in the rest later as we do more sieving, which we are 100% going to need to do. And that just makes it easier. So as you can see, we still have so many spots available. But like I said, these can only carry 512 as a default. We'll need to make copper upgrades and gold upgrades and all that as we get more resources. And that is something I will do off camera because, well, That's not really something you want to watch, which means then we can get rid of this chest and this chest. So then we just have this chest down here, which I will have this cleared out by the time the next episode happens. But that is done. So now that we did all of that, we got our storage going, which is, we needed the quartz for that. We have our witch water as well as our netherrack and our endstone going. And we did all of that so that way we could get quartz, because with quartz, and obviously I'll need to clean all of this up as well, which will happen eventually. But now that we have our quartz, so let's go ahead and take all of those, and we're going to need some redstone, and we're going to need some of all of this for our Certus. We can clear out all of these other things because we don't need them right now. The only thing that we need is a growth accelerator. And really, we only need to make one. So for one growth accelerator, we're going to need 4 fluix crystals plus, so we're going to need 8 fluix crystals. We're going to need some glass, iron, and then for fluix crystals, it is charged Certus with redstone and nether quartz thrown in the water. And then we can just use this water over here. And if you control click or control Q, it throws all of those items in. And then it transforms all of it into fluix. And obviously we have some leftover quartz and redstone, which is fine. We have everything we need. So let's pop all of that in here. We are going to need some more of the now I have 2 growth accelerators. Going to need to put a stone down right there, pop that right there, and now we have a basic growth accelerator. So the other thing we need, which I almost forgot about, we have our crystal resonance generator, and we put that bad boy right on top. It's now online. That is online. And now our Geores will grow quickly. As you can see, it's already growing, and it is much, much faster. To make this even faster, we can put them all around the edges, so it just grows from the top and the bottom. And the cool thing about this pack, and this is pretty new, is there are multiple different accelerators now. There's a cranked accelerator, which doesn't connect to the network, but you can set it up on a wooden crank. You have a directional growth accelerator, which forces the bud to grow in a specific direction, so you don't have to try and fandangle around with what you want. And then a boosted growth accelerator, which is faster than a regular one, but from what I understand, you can only have one of these per item, and then you can just surround the rest with the rest of them. So I think ultimately what the goal will be is we will have a directional accelerator underneath, which will force it to grow to the top. We'll put one boosted in the middle and then surround the rest of them with with regular growth accelerators to increase that. Now the only thing we need to do to make this better is to set up an auto harvester. And well, to do that, we needed ender pearls. And in the process of getting our nether quartz, we got them. So we're kind of at the point now where we're really going to start being able to get into other mods and start digging into them, as well as just setting up full automations, so it's something that we can set up and completely forget. I will more than likely be moving our farm and setting up some auto harvesting for that next episode, because I think we're going to start getting into the mystical agriculture section. And they removed a lot of seeds in this pack because they want you to use other methods to gather those resources, which I'm completely fine with. But well, we need dirt and, logs, as well as all the elemental essences and just the basics of mystical agriculture going, because then that way we can start getting cow seeds and pig seeds and all of that and set up a auto harvester for that, so we just don't have to worry about it. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, later.